What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TV Toycast YouTube channel. Today we are unboxing from Star Wars and the Black Series. It is Zaalbar. Am I pronouncing that one right? It's always fun to go into the Star Wars figures, but a lot of these I'm not familiar with at all. But it's a big Wookiee. Who doesn't want to unbox a big Wookiee? Definitely fun for sure. Of course, this is from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Gaming Greats. I got this for $10 used. Can't beat that. Still mint in the package. Can't beat that at all. And like I said, I'm always a sucker for a Wookiee type character. I've got a couple of other ones. I have Chewbacca, obviously, one of the more well-known ones, but also Chrysanthemum, which is a little bit, flies under the radar a little bit. And then also there's one called Kalneka that I have not unboxed yet, but another Wookiee coming. And I think I have the Halloween Wookiee as well, so I've got a few of them. Nice image there is Zaalbar. Obviously, seems to have some relation to Chewbacca. See what we can find out about the guy. Of course, this is $24.99 new, so I think $10 at a vintage store is not a bad deal, as it were. You alone determine the destiny of the entire galaxy in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, featuring iconic Star Wars locations and original characters like Zaalbar, a Wookiee who aids Raven in their quest. Not much of a gamer myself. I know there's probably a lot of you that are gamers. I was back in the day. You know, but it's funny, I've talked about this a little bit, especially on the TV Toycast podcast. If you're a podcast listener, go check it out. You know, when I had the Nintendo, my parents both enjoyed it. Then I went to the Sega Genesis, and they were like, we don't really get this. By the PlayStation, they were completely out. And I feel like that's where I'm at with my gaming, where I just don't understand it anymore. My nephew's really into Fortnite and streaming and all that stuff, and I just don't really truthfully understand it. And I'm a guy with a YouTube channel and a podcast. It just, a lot of that stuff escapes me a bit. So I think that's kind of the way it works, right? Some people stay in it. And I know there's people that are older than me that are still big gamers. It's just one of those things. I feel like it's passed me by a little bit, so I don't really dive too much into the gaming these days. But I do like the figures, obviously. I'm an action figure guy. And I think this is a cool-looking figure. I think the only knock people probably have on Star Wars is that a lot of these are, you know, the same characters over and over again. I just realized I have my scissors in the other room. I used them to open my bag of dog food, and I don't think I put them back. Rookie mistake. What am I thinking? I couldn't believe I did that, but it happened. It's a true story. But, you know, the thing is with any type of action figure line, I never collected Star Wars, so to me, these are great. And so, like, when I go to the store and I see a Darth Vader or, God forbid, Lando Calrissian on the pegs, I'm like, great! I'm going to pick those up right now, because I don't have those. Where other people that probably have had them for years are like, oh, come on, give us something new. So, but, you know, again, someone like Zaalbar may not be everybody's cup of tea. I dig it. I think it's cool. Now I've got to power through this tape with no scissors like a chump. My goodness. But, you know, again, I think, to me, what sold me on wanting to collect these lines is there's a lot of unique and fun characters. So, yeah, I don't know a lot about Star Wars. I am a fan, but it's not something I dive too deep into. But I'm an action figure guy. I like cool action figures, so if you can produce a cool action figure, I'm in. You know, and that's kind of exactly what they've done here. No twist ties? I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. A couple of cool accessories with this guy. Some sort of maybe is it a crossbow of sorts, and a nice big sword. I do enjoy a nice big sword. That is a big, big sword. Very, very cool. Get this stuff out of the way. Take a look at the figure. Of course, classic articulation. We've seen it before with the Hasbro style figures. Definitely a unique mold, and you know, Hasbro getting the most out of their molds with this. You know, obviously they took a lot of existing parts from Chewbacca and probably even Chrysanthemum and some of the other Wookiees and you know, do what they could, because obviously this is so unique that you can't really do much else with this. Let's see if we can. I feel like this attaches to this, maybe. Is that right? I don't know. Oh boy. It feels like it should, but maybe not. I don't know. Is that going? I have no idea if that goes on there or not. I'll have to look a little bit closer. Maybe it goes right here. We'll just sit there and try to figure it out live on the show. That's always fun. Maybe it's its own thing. I don't know, but I don't know what else this would be. That's the problem. But I do know that's a sword. Hard to mess up a sword. We're going to throw that in his hand. Looks like that's a trigger hand, so probably more for the gun. We'll put that sword there in his hand. That looks really cool. Nice big sword. I love a good sword. I think a sword's a good weapon for an action figure because it's, you know, it's relatively big. They can hold on to it. It looks good when when you do the pictures and all that stuff. So I'll have to mess with this sword or this gun thing for a little bit. Maybe it goes on the end here. I don't know. I simply just don't know. Oh, yeah, there we go. Figured it out. So it goes in right there. Perfect. Makes sense. Definitely a unique looking gun, but very, very cool. A lot of the Star Wars figures I have noticed, however, don't have a ton of accessories. I don't hate that, as people probably have seen on the channel. I feel like sometimes accessories can be a little bit overkill. That's my personal opinion. And the reason I say that is I feel like a lot of them end up lost or just put in baggies and stored away. This is like perfect amount. 2 accessories, you got a gun and a sword. That's all you need. To me, that's all I need. Now, I guess your mileage may vary, and everyone's going to be a little bit different, but if I had like 5 sets of hands, an extra head, 3 other swords, inevitably you end up just kind of putting that stuff away because there's nowhere else to really put it, and I feel like that is a waste. I think it drives the prices up, and I feel like it adds a level of storage that we don't really want to have with our figures. I want to be able to have, like, whatever accessories come with the figures basically can be on the figure. I understand extra heads and hands, you can't really do that, but accessories, like if it's a wrestling figure and it comes with a title belt, great, he can wear the title belt. He has a hat, a shirt, awesome. But you start throwing in tons of accessories, it gets a little tiresome if it's not something that they wear or something they hold. My personal opinion. And I noticed that with the Operation Monster Force figures, so many accessories, I'm like, I have a bag full of stuff from, like, this last one I unboxed. I still got the bag, look at all this stuff. That's just extra stuff. Extra stuff for the figure. It's too much, I think. And I think it drives the price up. And to me, if you gave me an option at $30 instead of $40, but one head and minimal accessories, I would jump all over that. That's just my personal opinion. And again, everyone has their own opinions, and that's what makes collecting fun, because everybody collects a little bit differently. But the Zaalbar figure is really, really cool. It's a Wookiee. I had to pick it up, found it at a shop for $10. I'm like, you know what? Done. And I think that's what's cool about the Star Wars figures. I was just looking at a vintage store today that had several different Star Wars figures there, and I'm like, man, that guy looks cool, that guy looks cool. And for the most part, you can find these Black Series reasonably priced, about $20 or so, maybe $25 depending on the character. And I think that's great. Now, occasionally you will find an expensive one, but not too often. And I think that's perfect. For me, I dig it, and I think it's a lot of fun. But let me know in the comments down below if you are a Star Wars fan or what Star Wars figures you are picking up. It's different for everybody, that is for sure. But I think these are fun. I dabble in Star Wars, the Black Series. I don't go all in, obviously. But I think at this day and age, if you collect more than one line, it's hard to go all in because there's so many releases. And like I said, I don't need every Chewbacca. But if it's a new character, yeah, okay, I'll definitely pick it up. If it's a different look of a character, I might pick it up. But, I have to kind of pick and choose, as it were. But I think this is a really cool figure, and it's one I'm definitely glad I picked up. Like I said, I had never bought Star Wars figures. I made the decision I want to get some. I went to Target, found a Darth Vader, and I'm like, that's awesome. I want to pick that up. Then I found Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers as Grief Karga. I'm like, well, I got to get that, and so that's what's been fun about this collection. Definitely a fun one. And like I said, most vintage stores have a big Star Wars section, so they're easy to collect, and they're a lot of fun. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, if you're into Star Wars or not. I would imagine you're at least somewhat into it, or why would you be watching this video, right? But of course, check out my other unboxing videos. I do 3 unboxing videos every single week. I've unboxed a few Star Wars figures. I'm trying to get those back in the rotation a little regularly. I've got a lot of new stuff over here. That's kind of an issue. I could always up my number of videos per week, but I think 3 is good for me. That's just enough to keep me busy, but not too much to keep me tied down where I can't do anything else. So that's for me. But everybody's different on that, of course, because the editing and the uploading takes more time than the recording, honestly, which was a shock to me because I did not expect that when I first dove into this. But definitely a cool figure. Like I said, I do 3 unboxing videos every single week. Monday this week, I unboxed Hulk Hogan from the Mattel LJN line, the new wrestling superstars. Absolutely love those. Getting LJNs in 2025 is unbelievable to me, and getting that Hulk Hogan was chef's kiss. It was one of the coolest things ever. That was, of course, on Monday. Last week, I dove into DC Super Friends Sinestro on Monday. That was really cool. On Wednesday, I went to the World of the Ring Rats with Wrestling Tycoon, and I picked up a Macho King Randy Savage. How cool was that? Unbelievable. Such a fun unboxing. And then on Friday, again, something a little bit different for me. I went into the world of Star Trek The Next Generation with the Playmates Toys Captain Picard. That was all last week, so a lot of cool videos there. Of course, the TB Toycast podcast drops every Thursday, wherever you get your podcast. Me and Travis dive into a different main event. kind of is like the main focus of the show, as well as all the news and happenings in the toy world. We talk about everything that interests us that particular week, so always a lot of fun there. And then, of course, my other videos, I have Tales of the Toy Box. I have not done episode 6 yet. I need to try to record that tonight, actually, while I have a little bit of time. Could be a big night of recording. We'll see. And then, of course, What's on the Pegs drops every Saturday, so which is a lot of fun to see what I'm finding out there, literally on the pegs, which is always kind of cool for my toy hunts, as it were. Always a good time. Always a lot of fun. And I like the Star Wars figures. I have so many of these I need to unbox. That's the thing. When I have such a big list, I'm like, oh my gosh. I kind of go in some kind of an order, usually the order I purchase them. I don't know why. That's, I guess, my OCD kicking in. But I was like, oh, you know what? It's time to unbox Zaalbar. Is that his name? Yeah, that's his name. Let's unbox him. That'll be a lot of fun. But I got like I said, I got all this new stuff I want to get to, so it's always a mess. But that's what keeps it interesting. That's what keeps it fun. Also, check out the TB Toycast TikTok page. I don't talk about it nearly enough. It's over 1,000 followers now. A lot of fun. And all I'm doing really is just putting old toy lines up there. Carded images that I'm finding online and showing like, hey, this is Series 1 of WWF Hasbro. This is Series 2 of Masters of the Universe. This is Series 1 of Battle Troll, something random. Or here's Stone Protector, something totally goofy. And it's been a lot of fun. So everyone seems to enjoy it. So give it a follow if you're over there on the TikTok, of course. And of course, if you're liking these videos, make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps out the channel. And I appreciate it more than you know. But that's it. That is all I got. Thank you all very much for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. That is Zaalbar from Star Wars, the Black Series of the gaming greats. So many sublines, it's hard to keep track of it all. But that's it. Thank you all for checking it out, and we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.